JD Power have just done a survey in China. They've done this for 2 years running, guys. I reported on the results of this survey 1 year ago. I got pretty slammed by people. A lot of people who watched the video, a lot of people were very offended by some of the comments I made regarding some vehicles, which were obviously just a reflection of what the test revealed. So if you're one of those people who slammed that video last year, maybe don't watch this one because some of this stuff might hurt your feelings. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. It's great to see you. What's going on here with this result? Well, JD Power, they ran a pretty big survey in China. They sent surveys out to thousands and thousands of Chinese car buyers. The results are quite interesting because for some brands, BYD, Zeekr, even Tesla, they had results that were really good for some cars, not so good for other models, even of the same brand. I mean, for example, the BYD Seal EV in China doesn't sell that well traditionally. It had quite a lot of complaints, but the BYD Seal plug-in hybrid, that sold quite well. JD Power has said that this survey was responded to by about 10,000 owners across 81 Chinese cities who purchased their cars over the period between July 2023 and January 2024. So over that 6-month period, the final 6 months of last year. Owners who had had their vehicles for between 2 and 6 months were asked about defects, malfunctions, design-related problems, infotainment system issues, powertrain issues. 105 vehicles were included from 48 different brands. Only 74 models had enough answers for JD Power to say that they would actually use the numbers. So there wasn't many responses for a certain model. JD Power did not publish the results. Now, one of the things that the study, it noticed this, guys, there's a pretty good reason why buyers in China are going away from legacy automakers. And that is because a lot of those vehicles had software issues. A lot of them, they said, voice control problems. There was all these different issues with them. So these responses were actually, most of the people who responded were people who bought newer cars. I mean, I'm talking about EVs, right? Who bought new models from, say, NIO, Xpeng, Zeekr, those sort of brands. Xpeng did quite well as well with one of their models and not so well with another. So kind of interesting results here. The average quality rating, here's the thing, 210 problems were reported per 100 vehicles. That's the average, 210. That's up 37 from last year's results. Vehicles manufactured by domestic Chinese companies had the fewest quality problems. International brands had far more. So that's one of the key reasons, right? Buyer satisfaction for international legacy automakers brands is significantly lower. It's clearly one of the key reasons why sales for legacy auto are falling so fast in China. One of the biggest, most complained about issues was infotainment systems for legacy automakers. Complaints were up by 7, with owners complaining about unresponsive touchscreens and inaccurate voice recognition, among other things. Here's what JD Power actually said was quite interesting. The competition in the NEV market, as in plug-in hybrids and EVs, is intensifying, with automakers constantly launching new models to capture market share. This has led to big changes in quality management as development cycles shorten. This year's study shows that design-related problems significantly outnumber defects. Automakers must prioritize user experience and perceived quality during R&D and focus on thoroughly validating high-tech features to enhance the user experience. Many of the vehicles included in the study sold, they're not actually sold outside of China, but a lot of them are as well. So here are the list. Well, here's the most interesting models from the list anyway. In the small segment, the BYD Dolphin had 205 per 100, which the segment average was 207. So it's just below the segment average. But there was a couple of other models. For example, the Geometry A Pro had only 180. That's a Geely brand, Geometry. Now, compact EV SUVs. Here's where the BYD Atto 3 did exceptionally well. The Aeon V Plus had 196. The BYD Yen Plus, which is the Atto 3, 196. The segment average was 203. So the Atto 3 is one of the best selling EVs in the world. Usually third or fourth best selling electric car worldwide. As you can see, a lot of owners had that, so a lot of them would have responded to the survey for the Atto 3. Pretty good result for the Atto 3. Mid-size EVs. NIO's ET5, 185. Tesla Model 3, 212. BYD Seal, 223. Segment average, 205. Now the Audi Q4 e-tron had 188, so a very good number for the Audi Q4 e-tron. Xpeng G6, 196. Zeekr X, 221. Now another Zeekr vehicle did incredibly well. Surprising to compare that. Segment average here, guys, was 222 complaints. Tesla Model Y had 225. Leap Motor C11, 233. And the Smart number 1 was 236. So surprisingly, bit of a bad result for Tesla with the Model Y. Bit of a shock considering the Model Y did extremely well the previous year. It was the least complained about vehicle the previous year. Zeekr 001, 171. The least complained about vehicle of any EV in China, I believe, was the Zeekr 001 with only 171. So incredible response there from one of the most popular cars in China. So a lot of these have been sold. You can't just say, oh, there's only 20 people that responded, so they would have just said whatever. It doesn't mean anything. A lot of sales for the 001, 171 per 1,000 cars. That's a good result. Segment average was 184. Xpeng's G9 had 206 complaints, and the IM LS6, 223. IM is kind of like a sister brand to MG under SAIC Motors. Now, there were a few other cars here were interesting to look at, guys. The NIO ES8 had only 177, so pretty good results across the board for NIO here. Zeekr 009, also very low, 181. Zeekr 009 is coming to Australia. I've test driven one of those. They're really, really good cars. Segment average was 200. The BMW iX3 was higher at 209. Now, plug-in hybrids for BYD have been a bit of a mixed bag. And I reported this last year. I was crucified by people. They said, oh, that's not really fair. Rah, 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 rah. Guys, I'm going to report on this every single year. If you can't handle that, yeah, it's not the right video for you. As soon as I put up the title, just don't watch it. BYD Song Plus, Sea Lion 6. That was a shocker. It was one of the most complained about vehicles in all of China, 242. By the way, this is a very high selling car. It's not like there's only a couple of these out there, there's lots of them. Segment average was 211. So a lot more for the Song Plus. It was the worst in the segment. Great Wall Motors Tank 500 plug-in hybrid. That's on sale outside of China as well. 196. And yeah, other cars, Great Wall Motor cars, there's another one with 185. Now, what's so intriguing about the BYD Song is the BYD Seal plug-in hybrid had only 191. It won its category. The Denza D9 plug-in hybrid, it won its category as well. They're only 191. The Denza D9, obviously Denza is a BYD brand. The Geometry E, 219, that did quite well apparently. And the Geely Panda Mini with 202. Very few complaints for that vehicle as well. Now, of course, these results don't necessarily mean those models are crap or they're terrible, but they do suggest some interesting things. Now, these results primarily I've reported on the interesting ones for you guys who follow EVs, but the reality is some of the worst performers for these segments with internal combustion vehicles from Toyota, from Nissan, from General Motors. You can see their sales where they're going this year in China, while they're all going down. Thanks for watching.